Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? Hello, world. What's up, all you Louisvillians? It takes a mouthful to say Louisvillian. You have to be from here to know how to do that. But welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I am your host, Janice Carter Miller. And this evening, we got some things to tell you about what's going on tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is a big day. You know, we have markers around the city to signify events of great significance. And today, there's an organization that makes that happen. And so I've got the ladies I've got Miss Dr. Amanda Higgins from the Kentucky Historical Society. Hello, Dr. Amanda. How are you, darling?
Hello, Janice. I'm well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm sorry I was a little late getting you in there. And then we have Miss Layla George from Olmsted Parks. Hey, Miss Layla.
How are you? I'm thrilled to be with you all tonight.
Well, wonderful. I'm glad to have you all. Miss Councilwoman Keisha Dorsey was not able to join us, but I sent her a link anyway in case she said, well, maybe I can just pop in and pop out. So I'll just kind of fill in her part. What's going to be going on tomorrow is the dedication of the marker for Algonquin Park as the home of the Dirt Bowl. Now that's big news. You know, to get one of those markers is not an easy task because Dr. Higgins, you all make us jump through some hoops getting it right, huh?
Yeah, you know, that we want to make sure that we're telling the very best history as well as we can with very few words.
Yeah, you did a fine job. Have me on my toes. So tell everybody how the Kentucky Historical Society works, what it does, and how I got why I had to come to you.
Yeah, so the Kentucky Historical Society is a statewide historical society. We're a little bit of everything, a museum, an archive. We have over 100,000 objects in our collection. We have over 10,000 oral histories. And then we have a full learning experience. So you can field trips, you can visit the museum, come to programming. And then you get to hang out with me too and my team. So our role for the Historical Society is statewide outreach. We are the hype women, because my team is all women, of Kentucky history. And one of the ways we get to do that is with the Historical Marker Program. The Marker Program has existed in Kentucky for more than 70 years. And it started as a tourism initiative, and now we use it to mark significant moments of Kentucky's past. Those moments are community driven though. So instead of the state coming to you, Ms. Miller, and saying, oh, now we should do something for the Dirt Bowl because that's cool, we feel and want to support communities who are telling us what's cool about their place. So through an application process, communities can apply for a historical marker for moments of significance, like the Dirt Bowl, to mark an event, a person, a place, a large, a connection to a larger story, a national story. Right. And there are more than 2,500 across the Commonwealth.
Wow.
Yeah, the most being in Jefferson County, our most populous county, of course. But there's a marker, at least one marker in all of the 120 counties in Kentucky.
Wow. Kentucky has probably more counties than any state in the United States. Isn't that correct?
It's up there. I believe Louisiana may have more. Louisiana or Texas may have more, but we have the best, of course.
Yes.
Those 120 are the best counties.
Okay. And so how this all started was in 2019. That was the 50th anniversary, or I say the 50th celebration of the Dirt Bowl. The Dirt Bowl started back in 1969 when I was just a mere babe in the woods. Myself and Ben Watkins were park supervisors at Algonquin Park. We don't have park supervisors in parks anymore. I don't know why, but that would be a wonderful thing to have. And he was a basketball player. I'm a cheerleader, and we're both in college. So this was our college break summer job. So Ben said, well, let's do something different. Let's have a tournament. Okay, so naturally the men get the guys together to play ball, and so I have to go orchestrate how we're going to make this happen and get permission to have a tournament through Parks and Recreation at Louisville. So it came about. I'm going to tell you, when I moved back home, I had no idea the Dirt Bowl was still going on. And somebody said, Janice, didn't you start the Dirt Bowl? I'm saying, yeah. They said, well, they still play. I'm like, what? So for me, this ends up being a part of my legacy. But I won't harp on myself. So Miss Layla,
Yes.
you come into the picture because I first approached Councilwoman Dorsey because she's the councilwoman over that district, District 3. So to sponsor the marker, when I found out that, this is something that could happen. So I started making that a part of it was supposed to be the culmination of the celebration. And so because of fabrication and timing and things, it just didn't work out to happen then. Then there comes Mr. COVID. And then he took over another year. So now here we are. They actually had the Dirt Bowl this year. Did you all know that?
Yes.
They had the Dirt Bowl in the park. No problems, no issues. I said, raise the roof. I was so proud of that. And I know they were happy. So that was the 51st. So Councilwoman Dorsey sponsored one side of the marker. And on the other side, we have Olmsted Parks, because Algonquin Park is an Olmsted Park. So tell us about that, Miss Layla George.
Sure, I'm happy to. So Frederick Law Olmsted, who designed Central Park in New York City, is one of the most famous landscape architects in history, and he designed our main flagship parks, and his firm designed our entire park system, including Algonquin Park, which was one of the later parks in the system.
Okay.
It was farmland when they made Algonquin Park, so there weren't a lot of residents in that part of town just yet. But of course, everyone came after that. The pool and that area has been an integral part of the park as long as it's been around. So Algonquin Park is one of the 17 Olmsted parks that we have here in Louisville, and we have 6 parkways connecting a lot of these parks. So it's a really special, unique feature that we have here in Louisville, and something we should all be proud of.
It's so when was the park constructed? What year?
I think it was around 1923 or 25 was when it was constructed.
Wow.
And I think the pool came in not maybe in the mid 30s.
Really? They had the pool there that long?
They've had it a very long time.
Wow.
I think it's gone through a few iterations, but yes, It's been there a very, very long time. And it's interesting how much the city has grown in the past 100 or so years, and how many people have come out to the edges, and now it doesn't feel like the edges of the city anymore. It feels like
Right.
The urban core. But
I never thought I would have never thought that park was that old.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. It's 17 acres, so it's a sizable park. We have some big flagship parks like Shawnee and Cherokee and Iroquois, which are a few hundred acres. Iroquois being the largest, but then we do have a handful of these 17-acre parks: Algonquin Park, Central Park, and Shelby Park.
Okay.
And those are, able to have tennis courts and basketball courts, as we know, and just offer a few more amenities. Most of them have fields for football practice or ball games and things like that. So it's a wonderful park that really adds to that community.
That was one of the things, being a park supervisor there. We thought we were at the baddest park in the city.
Yeah.
We had swimming pool, we had tennis courts, and we had a basketball court. So we had everything.
Yeah.
So it was actually the center of the attraction in the West in 1969. But it also served as I call it a demilitarized zone, because we had a lot of racial unrest during that time. But everyone was invited to come play ball, and there were never any issues. I mean, it was like family week. And then you're seeing superstars from UK and from the Kentucky Colonels. And, I'm remembering, because I'm 19 years old and I'm just as starstruck as a lot of other people, so it was a very exciting time for us. And that's why I thought, that if it's been around this long, it deserved a little recognition, like a historical marker.
Yeah.
And so, tell people, Dr. Higgins, tell the people how, if they think something deserves a marker, how they go about applying for it. What do they have to do?
Yeah, so I will say that currently we are not accepting new marker applications. We hope to be able to do that again in 2022.
Okay.
But when we are accepting new marker applications, you fill out an application form. You focus on the significance of what you're proposing for your marker. You have to do some research and provide us some evidence. So, Ms. Miller, your marker application included information from the Courier Journal, some things from like the Encyclopedia of Louisville that had written about the Dirt Bowl, personal recollections, oral histories, things from U of L and UK who had recruited Dirt Bowl players to provide the evidence for the story that you're telling.
Right.
And then you suggest the applicant can suggest a location and some other things like the 50th anniversary. So if you're proposing something that is tied to an event, and that is mailed to the Kentucky Historical Society, and we work with a group of outside reviewers to review the applications and make recommendations. And then we work with approved applications to develop text. And then we get them fabricated and we put them in the ground and we have big celebrations and unveil them with folks. And we also have a web presence. So after the unveiling tomorrow, we'll write about a 750-word blog post, and it will live in perpetuity on the internet for all to see, with historical photographs and other things to tell that story further. Because as you know, those markers are large, but there are only 330 characters on each side, and that includes spaces and things like commas or quotation marks. So there's so much more we can say about it.
It was very precise. Everything had to be so many characters and only, and so many spaces and so many commas. But it was, I got it done.
Yeah. It was great. I'm very excited about this, I must say, as a three-time University of Kentucky grad and a big basketball fan, to know that this will be there and folks will be able to see that something that's seen as sort of, a Central Kentucky story is actually a Weston story. And these stars that go on to play for UK and U of L and other universities are playing dirt ball in the West End. It's awesome.
Right. And we've got a lot of people that made history playing dirt ball. Daryl Griffith was known for his infamous dunk over Artis Gilmore, which Artis said it never happened. So we're looking to have a lot of ball players come tomorrow. We've got Ron King. I reached out to Mr. George Tinsley. I reached out to Daryl Griffith. I don't know if he's coming or if he's going to send his son to be unveilers, but we're going to have a little ceremony tomorrow, and we want the community to come out and lift up something good that's going on. The celebration is still a celebration. This is the end of the celebration of the 50th Dirt Bowl. Finally, we have our marker, and it's in place. I've been there already. I don't know why I didn't pull my picture up of it, but if you all just bear with me for a second, I'm going to show you the marker. Wouldn't that be something to see? Hold on, girls. You're not going anywhere. So, Miss Layla,
Yes.
I want you to tell us about Olmsted Parks. Who is Mr. Olmsted, and how did he get connected with parks?
Well, Frederick Law Olmsted started his career in landscape architecture in New York at Central Park, which was the first major park in the United States. And once New York did it, all these other cities saw how popular it was, and they wanted parks and park systems as well. So in 1891, Frederick Law Olmsted came here at the invitation of some community leaders with the idea of not just designing a park, but a park system. And
Mhm.
he was the greatest landscape architect, certainly at that period in time. And Louisville at that period of time was really a large city. So we were able to get someone of his caliber. So he came
Mhm.
up with these designs for three big parks, anchoring the different neighborhoods, connected by parkways, and then filling in with smaller neighborhood parks so that people could walk to a park. So that firm worked in Louisville in the park system for about 45 years. So for 45 years, the city of Louisville invested in parks in a really significant way. They paid, this famous firm to design it. They then bought the land, they planted trees, they paid for the buildings and the bridges and the roadways. And it strikes me as amazing because Olmsted designed so many spaces that were never built. And sometimes I think we think of Louisville as a city that can never quite make it happen. We talked
Mhm.
about bridges for 40 years before anything was built.
Right.
But back then, we did it. And year after year, we made significant investments in the park system. And I think we're all really fortunate today to have that legacy.
Tell us about that, the work that's been done. Those stones
Yeah,
over there
yeah.
are gorgeous.
Well, we have done a lot of work there in partnership with Keisha Dorsey and the Parks Department. We redid the courts. So the dirt bowl, I believe, got its name because it was surrounded by dirt. And
Right.
that was true even recently. If you were out of bounds and needed to throw the ball in, you were standing in dirt.
Then in the dirt.
And that's because
Yeah.
the court was barely regulation. So what we did is we worked with the Parks Department and we made a half court and then a new full court, brand new basketball court, and then we repaved the tennis courts and got those restriped and new backboards and all that good stuff. So it looks really good. We've got some boulders in place there just to prevent cars from driving through. We have a lot of parks in our city where people enjoy driving through the park. Despite the fact that there's no roads. So
Right.
we have to make
I
sure.
think we still need a sign up because I saw some cars parked up
Yeah.
by the swimming pool. And I was going to say, we
Yes.
need to tell people park in the parking lot, walk up to the pool.
Exactly. We just want to make sure all those kids are safe and don't have to worry about cars driving through when they're in the park enjoying it. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but it looks really good. There's a new spray ground that was installed probably 3 or 4 years ago. That's really nice. A new playground that we put in about 2 years ago. So Algonquin Park has seen some nice investments over the past few years.
Okay. So let me share my screen. I'm trying to get real good with this technology, girls. Okay. So there we have, I'm going to make it solo. That's the Algonquin Park side of the marker.
So nice.
Okay. And I got my contacts in, and so I read better with glasses, but I'm going to read it to you. It says Algonquin Park was designed by Olmsted Brothers, a well-known landscape architecture firm, in 1929. The 16-acre Algonquin Park is one of the 17 parks in Louisville. And wait a minute, can't see. And what? And hold and laid out by Olmsted and his
his sons over a 50-year period, and as part of the city's historic Olmsted Parks and Parkway system.
Thank you so much, because I sure couldn't see. Okay, and that's the Algonquin side of the. And here's the. Wait a minute. I gotta share. Look, I'm just lucky I know how to get you all on here. But I'm gonna do the share screen, and I gotta go up and get the other one. And I did that one. Is that one it? Share? Nope, same one. Come on, Janice. Okay, hold on. Everybody just hold tight. My audience knows I'm not always technologically inclined, but I'm doing my very best. I'm gonna do that one. That should be it. Dirt Bowl. In 1969, Louisville natives, Algonquin Park supervisors Janice Carter and Ben Watkins created the Dirt Bowl. What began as pickup games grew into a playground basketball tournament named for the dirt surrounding the court at Algonquin Park. The Dirt Bowl moved to Shawnee Park in 1971. And so I'm going to pull that up, so they can see that. So that's the two sides of that marker. One side says the Dirt Bowl, one side says Algonquin Park. So tomorrow at noon, ladies, we'll be in the park with the mayor and hopefully Miss Dorsey, Councilwoman Dorsey. She's doing a vaccine pop-up tomorrow. So I think that may take precedence over this, but this is probably more my baby than hers. We'll be there to celebrate this momentous occasion. And it's going to start at noon at Algonquin Park, which is at 1614 Cypress. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. And there are the girls again. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining me and letting everybody know how this works and how people, because there are markers all over the city, and people may not know how, if you want a marker someplace, if something is deserving of a marker, who you go to. You know, that's when I like to share information with our community, because some things we think we know and some things we just don't know. So on that note, I will say, girls, I will see you tomorrow. Yes. I may not see you, Dr. Higgins. I think Jessica's coming.
Yes. Okay,
Jessica's going to come, but we've got the mayor, and we've got some ball players, and we've got some shot callers, and we've got people from Parks and Recreation, and Miss Layla's going to be there. You're going to bring your daughter. I've got a T-shirt for her. You remember I owe her a T-shirt.
Yes, that's so cute.
So we'll be there tomorrow at noon, and we invite everyone to come out and celebrate this marker in our historic park for our historic event of the Dirt Bowl. Thank you, Dr. Higgins.
Thank you,
Miss Layla. You know, it's dinner time somewhere, girls. It's 7 o'clock. Y'all need to go eat. Bon appetit.
Thank you. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. Take care. Okay. Did you all see all of that? That's tomorrow, Algonquin Park. Dedication marker for the Dirt Bowl and the park as the home of the Dirt Bowl. So I'm going to maybe click one of them back up there again. So, yeah, there it is. I was kind of proud of that. I'm actually very proud of it. But they came together and helped sponsor this marker. You know, it wasn't cheap. They contributed. They made contributions. Olmsted Parks and Councilwoman Keisha Dorsey. So I don't want to leave her out at all, because she was the first person that stepped up and said yes. And then unbeknownst to us, that Olmsted Parks was willing to make it a double-sided marker. And you can't hear me. I don't know if you could hear me. So tomorrow at noon, Algonquin Park is going to be the dedication of the marker for Algonquin Park as the home of the Dirt Bowl. So it's Friday. We've got some things going on next week. Things coming up, planning our anniversary celebration of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with a dinner. So you look out for that. Keep your eyes open. And so we're kind of winding down the summer. So we've had some encore interviews that I've played over the last month or so, because maybe some people didn't see who came on in June, and they want to go back and see what guests that we had. So you can find them on YouTube, and you can also find them on Facebook, both under Jantastic Productions. Not the name of the show, but the name of the company. Jantastic Productions is where you will find the shows. So On that note, there's some other things going on. We still are fighting this Delta variant. And I think a lot of people are not taking it seriously. And our children are back in school. So we've got to keep our mask on. We got to keep them safe because some of them aren't even eligible for a vaccine. So let's be realistic. If you want to keep society open, makes sense. Put your mask on. Don't be breathing on folks, especially if you haven't been tested, and especially if you haven't had the vaccine. That's kind of unfair. There is a Bible verse that says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." So that means you put the mask on. Stop being silly, because it's really not a very smart thing to do not to wear the mask. That's just my opinion, and I'm allowed to have one. So on that note, guess who's coming to dinner? Bon appetit. It's dinner time somewhere. I'll see you on Monday. Have a safe and prosperous weekend. See you tomorrow, Algonquin Park, noon, for the dedication of the marker for Algonquin Park as the home of the Dirt Bowl. See you later.